Hello my friends, today I have decided to talk about yucca as well as to discover what exactly has gone wrong with these beautiful leaves after having it for 8 months. Before we move on, I would like to talk about yucca and where it comes from. Usually yucca is very extremely drought tolerating plants with low watering, native to hot and high humidity in America, places in America as well as in Caribbean. Yucca usually one of the low maintenance plant that can tolerate indoor as well as outside. Usually they are an outdoor plants, but they have a good toleration if we keep them inside the house as well with a very low maintenance. What really yucca is famous for, they are having a high grade nutrients, carbs, calories, and vitamin C. Usually people compare this one with potatoes, if yucca roots are better or potato roots. Of course they know that the yucca is more enriched with nutrients, but of course that has been since back then. Now with these days people, they really don't take yucca roots anymore, and because since we have doctors and drugs around, so we usually don't do that. But usually they are known for the one of the best benefit of these beautiful plants. It's being highly nutrited with vitamin C and carbs, and also for diabetes and cholesterol patients they usually used to use the yucca roots. About the watering ratio for this beautiful plant, usually if you keep them indoor, you water them once in a week or once every 10 days. If you keep them outdoor, probably maybe again less than a week once you will water them. They usually do not drink too much water. You're waiting for the soil to get fully dry, then you can give a little bit of water of it. That can really also tolerate into the medium light if you keep them indoor. If they keep them outdoor, if the weather is so hot, especially where I live currently, the temperature sometimes reach something between 45 to 48 degree. So this kind of temperature for sure gonna burn the leaves, but it's good for me to keep in the shaded area if I want to keep them outdoor. But yeah, in the hot summer or spring days, better to keep them indoor, somewhere next to the window, that they can take at least 2 to 3 hours in direct light. Will definitely help them to have a rapid growth. Moving on, I would like to talk about the yucca pot. Usually when you want to choose a pot or a potting mix as well, you quite need to use a medium sized pot, not too big, not too small, because usually the roots grow very fast. So always try to use maybe 2 size bigger. So what I have decided today to replant this yucca after I know what's exactly going wrong into this pot is usually an IKEA pot without the hole, but I have drilled few holes at the bottom to have enough drainage. It's very important for yucca plants to have a drainage to water, for the water to get fully drained, because collating the water inside the soil, it helps the root to get rot very fast, and that's usually a common mistake that every person makes with the plants, indoor plants mainly. Water collecting excessive water, if they don't get drained efficiently, they stay there and then create rotten roots. Sometimes even if you have a pot that has a drainage hole, if your soil mix is not right, of course it will collect the water at the bottom and then it won't drain easily. It will stay within the soil and will rotten the roots. So choosing a right potting mix as well is so important. What I have today with my potting mix, I have 2 parts of potting soil, normal potting soil, or if you have a little bit of coco peat also, you can mix to it. I have added 1 part of washed river sand, or maybe any kind of sand, but has to be washed without having any salt in it. Also 1 part of perlite. This is so important for me to have the sand and perlite in the soil to ensure that the water truly get drained. When you want to lift your plants with the pot, you will know that with the weight, if it's light or if it's heavy, that how you will know if you're really your plants gonna have your soil gonna have a good drainage with the water. So moving on, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these beautiful plants out of the current pot. I bought it 8 months ago. As soon as I buy this one, I quickly change the plant from the normal nursery plastic pot to this beautiful decorated pot. Why I did that? Because I thought the pot was too small for it, which of course the pot was too small. I had to plant into a much bigger pot, and of course over the 8 months it had a quite good growth, but in past few days I see that the leaves are start becoming yellow and start falling off. So I'm gonna quickly remove these decorative stones around the plants, and then I'll get the camera more closer for you to see what exactly has gone wrong with this beautiful plant. So let's get the camera more closer and get our hands dirty. So having said about Yucca, let's start taking these beautiful plants out of its pot and see what's really going on with these beautiful plants, and basically to rescue it. Because if I don't do that, over a time maybe the problem will become bigger and bigger and affect from this piece to this piece and having it all dead, which I don't want to do that really. Sometimes when it comes to the fresh plants, one small common mistake that we do, that's enough for this beautiful creature, and it's going to kill them just in a couple of days. So we need to ensure, we are always careful, and we basically monitor them and keep an eye on them on day-to-day basis, and have a looking at their watering level, especially with the indoor plants, which they do not need too much water, and that's what commonly people make the mistake and kill them. One quick advice for me, for you guys, for the indoor plants, usually to ensure that how you watering them, basically to dip your finger inside the soil and find out if you feel any moisture, means you don't need to water. If you feel that the soil is 100% dry, that's the time you will give some water to it. You do not really need to overwater the plants. Sometimes of course different fresh plants has got different watering ratio, and what is my bottom line, that I'm sure what has gone wrong with these beautiful plants also is overwatering, which just one common silly mistake that I have made, that what is really brought it to this area. But really, let's find out and get us more discovering the cause of the problem with this plant. I have had this pot from IKEA. It looked quite nice and beautiful, but unfortunately doesn't have a drainage hole. So let me take it out. It's so hard and stuck. Need to be careful and gently doing that, not to harm the plants or the roots any further. Oh yeah, yes, this, as you can see, this is the pot and this is the plants, having it for 8 months, having a rapid growth. Let me take the soil off. Yes, definitely the roots need more space. Of course, the roots requires more space. I don't see any sign of rotten roots really, but as I can see at the bottom of the pot, let me show you, it's so compressed with the soil, and of course I can see some extra moisture as well, but it's so compressed, so that's why the roots are not having space to grow any further. So that's why it's so important for us to choose a pot like what I have right here, to allow these beautiful plants to grow bigger. How much the roots get more space, the growth going to be more rapid and more faster. So I didn't see, I'm so happy that I don't see any sign of rotten roots. So I'm sure there's nothing wrong with my watering ratio for these beautiful plants. Yeah, I don't see really any sign of rotten roots. How do you know if the roots has been rotten or not? Usually the tip of the roots is more softer, they quickly come off, yeah, and much more softer to some other parts. So that's how you know that the roots are really been rotten or not. Usually what you do, I have my seeds already here, so if I have any rotten roots, I cut them immediately, so not to affect the rest of the roots. So what I'm gonna do next now, I'm gonna plant this into a new pot, but before doing that, I would like to tell you about these leaves. Usually if the leaves turning yellow or brown or falling like this, what could be the sign of that? Is either overwatering, which the roots are rotten. The second thing could be lack of light, lack of indirect sunlight. As I said, maybe 2 to 3 hours in a day, if they get indirect light, they're really going to help them to grow faster. But if the light are lacking on this one, that's how the roots, the leaves going to be. Sometimes you get the dry tips as well. That is, could be for me they are pretty fine with the tips on the leaves. But if you get any brown tips or yellow tips, drying tips, the main cause of that could be infrequent watering. If you don't water these beautiful plants infrequently, that's what happens to them exactly. Yucca, usually they are from asparagus family, and all of those plants that they come from asparagus family, they are having that issue. If you don't water them infrequently or frequently, the tips of the leaf become dry or brown or yellow. So let's start planting these beautiful plants into a bigger pot. As I told you already about my potting mix, 1 part of normal potting soil, 2 parts of normal potting soil, 1 part of perlite, and 1 part of the sand for easy drainage. I'm going to use some of the old soil because I don't find anything wrong with them into my pot. So I'm going to put this one at the bottom because there is nothing wrong with the old soil. This is how I'm going to do it, adding some more. Maybe a little bit more. To uplift the plants and to make it look more gorgeous and more visible, because the size of the pot, as you can see, is quite big, we don't want to hide the entire plant. So I'm going to keep adding soil so I can uplift the plant to be more visible and stay beautiful, even if the pot is 2 times bigger than the required size for this beautiful plant. So I have filled it almost half of this pot with my potting mix, as you can see, and I'm going to place my plant right in the middle and adding extra potting mix around it now. It's so fun and enjoyable working with the fresh plants, doing the repotting, or basically caring for them, and always makes you happy when you wake up in the morning and having a look at them. It's really brighten your day. You're going to be super happy when you see always one beautiful leaf is coming out from your fresh plants. That means they are happy and growing. Let me do that to make it a bit faster in process. I think still I needed to make a little bit more higher, but it's fine. After doing this repotting, I'm sure I'm going to have a rapid growth with this beautiful plant. So I'm going to compress a little bit. You do not need to over compress it, because of course you need to let the water drain through. If you compress more, the water won't drain easily. And also is one of the main reasons that we add sand into our potting mix is basically to keep the good drainage. Addition to keeping a good drainage, also to make the plants steady, because over the time when they grow, they become very thick and heavy, so they always keep on falling. So that's why having a sand in the soil, it's always a good idea for your big chunk plants. So additionally, what I have here, I have some extra hydro stone, which I'm gonna put it around the soil for decorative purpose. Usually hydro stone, they have got different purposes. One of the purpose of that is to keep on the bottom of the pot, to keep the plants hydrated, because hydro stone usually absorb water and moisture, so the plants can usually get watered over the time when you are away, maybe going on vacation or something. The hydro stone sometimes can be very handy and absorb the water in the bottom of the pots. But here today I'm going to use the other purpose of the hydro stone, which is to decorate top of your soil. So I'm going to do that, and having it like this. So what I will be doing next, I'm going to cut off this extra leaf which is coming off. I have to be careful because still I have these 4 leaves. Okay, I'm not going to cut them, but I'm going to cut the other dry leaf off to keep it in shape and as beautiful as how it was. So that's how we have it. That's all about it. And a watering, just a little water moistening around the yucca is more than enough. Sometimes spraying some water over the leaf also is going to be good, because they sometimes like humidity. That's all about it. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this video helped you and maybe help you saving one another yucca. Have a great time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my page, like and share with your friends and loved ones, and see you next time.